Vermilion is small. At least that's what people say. But what they don't realize is that you could go 7 minutes in either direction in Vermilion and completely change your lifestyle. Walkable harbor, quiet farmland, subdivision living, highway convenience, and secluded acreage, all within the same zip code. It's a very different experience depending on where you live. And that's the thing. If you're relocating here or moving within Vermilion, picking the wrong area inside of Vermilion is what causes regret, not the town itself. If we haven't met yet, welcome to my channel. I'm Adam Williams, a local realtor here in Northeast Ohio, serving areas from Vermilion all the way through Port Clinton, including Sandusky and Huron as well. I help buyers and sellers navigate their home process all through these areas and surrounding communities. A lot of buyers I work with, they tell me, we want to live in Vermilion. And then I say, which part? And sometimes that gets a certain reaction of like, what do you mean, which part? Because Vermilion's so small. So in this video, I'm going to break down all of these different areas inside of Vermilion itself so that you can make an informed decision if you want to live in Vermilion, where you should probably look at. Let's start with the most obvious one, and that is the downtown area, or Harbour Town as it's known in Vermilion. And so in this area, this is that postcard feel that everybody loves with Vermilion. When you Google Vermilion, this is probably what you're going to see. It's the downtown area with the bridge, the river running right through, Vermilion River running right through downtown, the beaches, the beautiful downtown square. There's a park right there, the railroad track that runs through. It's all so scenic, and that's what Vermilion's so well known for. And there are homes and condos available right there in that area. You're gonna see some older homes in those developments there. The lagoon homes are right over there as well. There are some condos in there. What you're paying for there when you move there is a certain lifestyle of walkability and the boating access. But what you get when you live here with this lifestyle, you have walkable main streets, the sailboats in the harbor, the beach access. There's a lot of restaurants and little shops there as well. So you have walkability, community events. Those are huge. The community events, the festivals, those all happen downtown there. We had the Ice Festival this winter here a couple months ago, about a month ago now, with the Woolly Bear Festival, the Fish Festival. There's so many different events that happen right there downtown. So if you want easy access to that, you can live right there and enjoy that area. Even though it has all those great amenities, here's some of the trade-offs. When it comes to the homes and actual real estate, you're going to see a couple things. The lots themselves are going to be smaller. Since you're in a downtown area, you have smaller lot size. You're going to typically have older homes in this area. The competition is going to be higher as well. It's a pretty popular sought after area. So the competition is going to be higher for buyers. And then you're going to have some summer tourism traffic. Vermilion is a lake town, so in the wintertime, it stays somewhat active. But obviously in the summertime, it definitely gets way more active. A lot more people out walking around, more festivals, things like that. And here's another con with downtown Vermilion. When you go to live there, there's limited inventory. You're going to see that in this video a lot. This time of year, right now, there is limited inventory just in general. Not as many homes for sale, but downtown specifically, it's going to be a little bit harder to find that perfect home right there if that's what you want. So to wrap this up, if you want charm and that kind of walkable lifestyle where there's things to do all the time and the beaches and all of that, downtown might be a great fit for you if you can find the right home for yourself. However, if you want privacy, if you want space and that quietness, this probably isn't going to be the right feel for you. The next area that I want to talk about, I would just consider waterfront. There are pockets of homes and properties and communities that you would consider to be waterfront. Now, when I say waterfront, I do mean lakefront, or there are some that are right on the Vermilion River as well that have direct canal access. And so these are premium territory. They're going to be more expensive, higher price per square foot, high demand, and they move pretty quickly if they're priced correctly. So let's talk about the lifestyle and what these homes might be like here. These areas are for buyers that prioritize the water lifestyle and waterfront access over the home itself. Typically, the size of your lot, in most cases, is going to be pretty small. You're not going to have a lot of privacy. You do have the water access, so on one side you'll have some privacy, but on the other side there's going to be a lot of homes tucked in around you typically. So in Vermilion, there are pockets of communities that actually live right along the lakefront. I can do a separate video on those. There's also some really unique communities that live along the river itself, Vermilion River. And so I like the river view too. It's pretty cool. There's a lot of awesome fishing there. It gives you really great boat access. The lagoons are right through the canals there. Those are really pretty as well. So there's definitely some options there when it comes to that. But the things you, again, have to consider, the trade-off is going to be higher price for sure. You don't have as much privacy. The lots themselves are going to be smaller, and there's gonna be a lot of competition for those homes. And really quick, last thing on this note with the waterfront properties, some of these actually have HOAs as well. Some are in communities themselves that are an actual HOA community. So that is something to consider too. The next area, and this is my favorite actually, is the Vermilion Township, or the countryside, you can just call it. And this is where I actually grew up, right outside of Vermilion here. It's technically Vermilion, but I went to Firelands High School, and I love this area, and there's a lot of reasons for that. Let's get into that. You're still 5 to 10 minutes, depending on where you live, from downtown and from the lake itself. There's larger lots for sure. Most homes out in the countryside have about an acre of land, sometimes more. You can have a pole barn. You have the fields behind you. I've talked about this in other videos before, but the way these lots are typically set up are farmers that had the big farmlands out there. They sell off parcels, usually an acre at a time, that are along the road. So then you drive along the road and you'll see these homes stacked up side by side, usually an acre apart, and then behind them is a large field. But this creates this feeling of privacy out in the countryside because no one's behind you other than a farmer, and it's kind of fun to watch that. And when they come through with the combines and all that stuff, again, you have the fields behind you, wildlife. There's a lot of wildlife out there, quiet roads. I ride a motorcycle. When I ride my motorcycle, I love to go in the countryside and cruise along all the curvy roads. A lot of fun. So this is ideal for you if you want the privacy, if you want acreage, you don't care about being in the middle of town and having it be walkable. Here's where people get the misconception about Vermilion. They think you can't have both that lake lifestyle and the privacy and the acreage and the wildlife. But that's just not the case. You can have both because it's only 5 to 10 minutes away. And that's what I love about Vermilion so much. Other cities that I work with, some of them, you have to drive much further away from the water to get to more of that countryside feel. So the Vermilion Township's awesome for that reason. This is not for you if it's too quiet. There are people I know that just don't want to live in the countryside. They like the walkable feel. You're going to have to drive, 10 minutes or so to a grocery store, which that's not a big deal to me at all, but you're gonna have to drive a little bit to a grocery store. And then one other quick unique con about living out in the countryside, if you do live right up against a farmer's field, this is just common sense, but it's something you should be aware of. A couple times a year, they have to spray manure. They have to spread that out. Every year growing up out there, you get that smell. So it doesn't last long, but it does happen. You have a warm summer day and you walk outside and you're embraced with that awesome smell. So there is that to consider if that really is going to bother you. Most people I know, you get used to it. So it's not that often during the year. To me, the trade-off is worth it. The next section that I want to talk about in Vermilion is the Route 6 corridor between Vermilion and Huron. This is very suburban. It's a beautiful stretch of land between those two cities there. It's a really popular area to live. What is it like? Well, you're going to have closer access to major routes like Route 2, the Turnpike as well. You have easier access to both Huron and Sandusky because you're closer to those as well. They're very suburban styled neighborhoods. Here's the con with it. You're going to lose the Harbour aesthetic, essentially. That postcard feel inside of Vermilion, you are further from that once you go this direction, but you're still 10 minutes away, 15 minutes away in some cases from that. The homes on the Route 6 corridor between Vermilion and Huron, they're pretty unique. You're going to see some new construction, actually. There are definitely some communities being developed out there. You're going to see some farmhouses out there, some older homes, ranch-style homes. You're going to see a whole lot of a mixture. And then there's some communities. There's some condo communities, too. There's some beachfront access as well. So it's a unique drive if you just go right along Route 6 and see all the homes that are out there. And then, obviously, once you go south from the lake, you're going to be more in the countryside, and it's that same vibe there as well. So those are the areas of Vermilion. You have Harbour Town or downtown itself, very popular, older homes, that walkable access. Then you have pockets of waterfront communities and homes alongside of Lake Erie and the Vermilion River. That's another area. Then you have the Vermilion Township itself in the countryside. When you go south just a little bit of Vermilion itself. And then once you go west towards Huron, you're on that Route 6 corridor. And that corridor has its own type of feel as well. So those are the 4 areas in Vermilion. So a lot of buyers, they want walkability, privacy, water access, convenience, or charm. Here's the reality. In most cases, you're not going to get all 5 of those. In most cases, you're probably going to get closer to 2 of those. So this is where clarity and focus is important, to know what is top priority for you. Is it privacy? If it's privacy, probably don't look downtown because it's not very private. If it's water access, well, the countryside isn't going to be the greatest fit for you if you need to be on the water. So you just need to know clearly what you're looking for and then apply that to the area you're looking at. This is why I love Vermilion so much. All of these areas give you access to the lakefront lifestyle that I love. The boating, the fishing, all the community activities, the small restaurants and diners and things like that downtown. So again, you have to decide what's right for you, but there's something for everybody in Vermilion. You just need to know what it is. And so that's where people get frustrated by where they live, is they didn't make a good decision on picking the specific area in the community they wanted to live in. So if you're looking to move or sell within Vermilion, and you would like a guide, that's what I'm here for. I would love to help you make the best decision for you, whether it is Vermilion or one of the other lake towns that we have with Sandusky, Huron, maybe Port Clinton, some of these other areas. It's important to have someone who knows these areas really well and that can guide you in the decision that you need to make. It's also important to know all the market trends, what's happening right now in real estate, what's happening with house prices, interest rates, all of that right now to have your competitive advantage. We're heading into the busy season. We're heading into a time when inventory is going to start to rise, competition is going to start to rise, and all of that. Here's a fun fact for you right now in the market. I showed a home this last weekend right outside of Huron, actually. It was in the countryside, and this home was on 2 acres. It was really aggressively priced. It was beautiful. I showed the home. There was tons of traffic, private showings, not an open house. And I called the agent the next day. They already had 11 offers on this house, 11 offers that quickly. And I think it was only live for 2 days at that point. So that home definitely went over asking price. We'll see what that ended up being. But right now we're seeing a lot of buyers coming out and starting to shop. We're seeing sellers also starting to hit the market. So the market's turning up a little bit here on the North Coast. So if that's you and you're saying, hey, Adam, I'd love to look at, making a move here this summer, this spring, give me a call. My information is right below in the description. Text me, call me, email me. I'd love to help you out and be your guide through this whole process. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you like and subscribe. Subscribe to the channel. That way you can see what's coming up. I do videos like this on all these communities. That way you can stay informed. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.